Hello world, I'm a 50-year-old homeschooling mama, for holistic health coach. I've got my headband on, so you know it's serious. I'm in a job right now. Seems to be like everything happens all at the same time. I'm sure you've experienced that, right? And it's like, things are going smoothly and then all of a sudden something goes wrong. Maybe it's like a financing, maybe it's like, something happened to your car, maybe it's like just something in the house, maybe a little health hiccup, whatever. But then it's not just that, then something else piles on, something else piles on until you're just like in it. You're like overwhelmed. And then how do you get out of that funk? You find yourself just in a bad place and then you just let stuff go. Maybe you just don't exercise as much. Maybe you just kind of like, get mentally just worn out and just in a negative mindset. So how do you move past that? And I've, been dealing with it. So I've kind of I isolated things that I have to think about, bullet points that I can just refer back to and just remind myself and try it, see if it works, and then, continue on. For me, when I just don't even know where to start, like it's just too much. I notice that if I tackle something I really don't want to do, or it's just something I don't like to do, just right away in the morning when I have my most energy, and just kind of check it off, can check off that thing first, then I'm like more encouraged to just keep going and keep checking off boxes. If I wait till the afternoon, or when I think, okay, let me just get everybody fed and let me just do a couple chores first, and then as the day moves on, my energy wanes, and all of a sudden I'm like, I don't even want to do that thing because I already didn't like to do it in the first place. Like tedious stuff for me, right? Tedious chores around the house or a project I just didn't want to get into. But if I tackle it right away, it just kind of, it puts wind in my sails. That just works for me. But then also I can identify things that I don't need to do, things I can put off, and it's not urgent. And you might be like, okay, well that's juxtaposition of like, do it, do the stuff you need to do, or don't do it. What is it? Well, yeah, that's the point. It depends. Prioritize what really needs to happen and what can wait a day, or what you can catch up the next day. So for me, like I've started a new channel about reading through the Bible, and I was doing a certain amount of chapters every day. And then one day I just couldn't with anything. I just hadn't gotten a good night's sleep. I was just struggling with a couple little not really health hiccups, but just like overall just not feeling good. Just feeling like, okay, it's like blah. It's the winters. I don't know. It's just winter always brings everything out of me that, I don't want. I'm not feeling, my energy levels lower. I'm not getting the vitamin D from the sun. And then I ran out and I ordered it and it's on back order. So now I'm like, oh, I really needed that vitamin D. And it's going to be another, I don't know. When I ordered it, they told me it would be here the next day. And then it happened to be delayed like a week. So I'm patiently, or not so patiently, awaiting my vitamin D order. So I know that helps me, particularly with my genetic makeup and just what makes me feel better, because I already have a condition that, is exacerbated with low light and lack of vitamin D from the sun. So I really need to focus on making sure to get that in my diet. And clearly diet is not a very good source of vitamin D. It's minimal at best. So really supplementation in the winter is kind of must for most people. Just a matter of how much you should take for whatever you need, which of course it depends on your labs. So back to my story about I started a new channel, and then I was supposed to be doing a certain amount of chapters a day, and I was just worn out. I just had a bad night's sleep. Things just piled up. We had a project that had to be taken care of in the house. There's like a little bit of a water damage leak situation. So had to kind of repair the flooring, and I was just like wiped out. So I'm like, it's not going to like break everything if I pause it for a day and just add more chapters in the next day. Like the world is not going to end. And that's what we have to determine, right? What absolutely has to be done today, what can wait, give us some grace, approach the hard stuff first. To your best health.